video I've been procrastinating on for the past like year and a half. So back in April last year, I decided to do a room makeover. Sorry, I was scratching at my leg. Hi, is it better now? Is this what you wanted? Do you just want to be carried all the time? So at around April last year, I decided to completely redecorate my room because it was the start of quarantine and how it looked back then was just not it. I'll roll some before clips now so you'll see what I mean. I lived like this for like 5 years and I don't know how, but that quarantine was when I finally decided that was it. I had nothing better to do. I was just gonna completely redo my room. I never edited this video until now because I never thought that the room was like complete. I always thought there was something else I could add to it, but here we are. I've finally gotten around to putting this video together. So some of the clips you see in this video might be from like as far back as like April last year. So if you see me with like blue hair or silver hair or whatever the fuck I was doing back then, that's why. So here is the story of how I turned my room from this into this. Enjoy. So the first step to doing anything to this room is to move shit out of the way. So here I am struggling to move my mattress and other shit out of the room. These plastic drawers were just not it for me. Look what I found! I forgot about this, that's so fun. This is literally from April 2018. I wrote some stuff on here and then I kind of forgot about it. Moving this bed was a mission. I keep thinking a piece is gonna break and fall down on me. And then I had to vacuum and clean the floor because it was absolutely disgusting. And then I tried to clean the wall a little bit to prep it for the wallpaper. Now while that dries, I'm gonna watch a YouTube video on how to actually do this wallpaper. After watching a literal 3-minute video, I decided I was armed with enough knowledge to take on this wall. I decided to go with this white brick wall because at the time I was watching Best Dressed, Morgan Adams, and probably a bunch of other YouTubers that I'm forgetting now who also had white brick walls at the time, because apparently my interests are just a combination of what I consume on the internet. The whole thing was simple enough, honestly. This was my first time ever doing this, but you basically just roll some glue on and you slap the wallpaper on and maybe smooth it out a little bit. You cut off the excess and that's about it. The wall socket was probably the hardest part. It took me a hot sec, but we got there in the end. The whole thing maybe took me 3 hours. The cleanup after was a bitch though. So now that my wall was done and dry, I can finally move some of my furniture back into its place. Found some random shit under my bookcase because I've never moved it. Oh god. So then I got to work building my new dresser, which I've never had one before because I've always had those ugly plastic drawers. This is the Malm chest of 4 drawers in white from IKEA. These are the Skub from IKEA. I'm butchering these Swedish pronunciations, blame Google Translate, not me. And then I got this massive mirror from Kmart for only $30, which is insane because everywhere else sells them for at least $80. Okay, yeah, this is very backlit, but it's time to take down this bed. Oh my gosh, it feels like this bed is almost a part of my identity. Like I've had it for so long. I do like this bed. I like it a lot, but I got it at first because I thought this room was so small that if I got a bed that also has a desk and it takes up less floor space, I'll feel like the room is bigger. But in reality, because the bed is so high, it just feels like something's looming over my head all the time and it actually makes the room feel smaller. It works perfectly fine. It's had a good run, but it's time for a change. This is for squishing bugs that come into my room and I don't want to, so I grabbed this. Anyway. We got this when my sister's now taller than me, and we got this when she couldn't even reach. She was like this tall, and now she is taller than me. That's how long I've had this bed. Also, I don't really know what to do with this bed, so if anyone wants to like buy it or something, $200, then it's yours. Taking down this bed by myself was an experience. There we go. Yay, second one. but my impatient ass could not wait for someone else to come home first, which in retrospect I probably should have gotten help. Like, I don't know what made me think I could hold 3 parts of the bed at once, but we got there in the end. Somehow. This room looks so different and empty, and I don't know if you can tell, but my voice is hella echoing right now. Oh my gosh. My desk has arrived. Yep, this is another IKEA product. I should really be sponsored at this point. This is the Alex desk, and it's the big boy one, the one that's like $200. Listen, this was the height of quarantine. I have no explanation for any of the money that I spent in that time. And at least I didn't spend $1,300 on it, because I was really taking inspiration from all these white desks with gold legs. But I decided to make it myself, so I just bought some spray paint, which was also my first time doing that, and I just spray painted the legs before I built them on. So now here is another IKEA furniture building montage. I built so many IKEA furnitures during my quarantine that I should honestly put it on my resume at this point. I ended up having to do another coat of spray paint because I am a noob and I fucked up the first time. So here I am in my fabulous Crocs, just spray painting the shit out of these legs. And then after they dried, I added them to the top part of the desk, and voila, there we go. $1,300 desk for only $200 and a little bit because of the spray paint. I love this desk though because it's got a little spot in the back where you can hide your power boards and your cables. I also got these Malaran organizers under the illusion that I'll be a new bitch now and I'll have an organized desk. It's worked a little bit, I've got to give it some credit. I also got a new chair and I spray painted the legs to match, but honestly the chair wasn't that comfortable. I got a new one. So now this chair is just for my clothes that I wear once, and it's too dirty to go back into my closet, but it's too clean for me to put it in the laundry. So it just sits there. We have a chair. Now here's the real clown shit, hence the music. So 15-year-old me got a little too carried away with the blue paint. I had a little bit left over, so I decided to paint the fucking window frame. And it's not even the right paint for it, it's wall paint, and this is supposed to be, I don't know, a different type of paint. And I did not give a fuck about the edges at all. And then I just left it like this for 5 years. I don't know how I lived like this. But anyway, now I have to fix this shit, which was honestly more trouble than it was worth. Why did I do this to myself in the first place? There was also the problem of my blinds, which hit the wall every time the window was open because of the wind, and it drove me insane. So it had to go. So I decided to put up curtains instead of having blinds. I think I did it! I just did a thing! Yes! Yeah, I've never drilled things into a wall before, so I was really excited about this. Anyway, after the whole bed incident and the almost killing myself on my tiled floors because of my need to just fucking do everything by myself, I decided to enlist the help of my mom to help me put up my curtains. But this whole thing turned out to be stupid anyway because I hated the curtains that I chose. The color was off and the curtains itself wasn't big enough. I also didn't like the metal eyelets because my curtain rod was textured, so every time I opened or closed it, it made this really loud sound. So then we were off for round 2. These curtains were from Spotlight. Actually, all of them were, and so were the curtain rods, and these ones have no metal eyelets, but I decided I hated them anyway. Look at how stupid they look. It still just wasn't big enough, and I don't know, they look like shower curtains. I thought I didn't like how thick the first ones were, but after seeing a sheer one, this looks worse. So then we were off for round 3. I can't believe it took me 3 tries to get this right. I don't know, I guess this is my first time picking out curtains. So armed with all of my previous knowledge, I decided that I wanted one that was white and block out so that I can get a good night's sleep even when I go to bed at like 5 AM, and also big enough so that it's more than enough to cover my entire window. I decided to compromise my hatred of the metal eyelets because it really wasn't that bad. Like, I don't open and close it that often a day. After living with it for a whole year, I honestly really like it. So this fan was installed here a while ago because this was before I got my aircon, and being on the top bunk is really hard to have a fan up there, so this fan was my best chance of surviving Australian summers. But I'm not gonna lie, it's not my aesthetic, and I had a massive headache trying to figure out how to make it my aesthetic, so I found some white ceiling paint from the garage. I don't know what it's from, but I dabbed a little bit on the red, and honestly, it looks so much better already. I also wrapped a vine around the bear grey cord because it was ugly and bugging me, which I realized I don't have a video for, so here's how it looks now, but I only added the flowers in the other week when I was doing my flower wall, which is a separate video on its own that you guys should check out. I also had to have someone come in and install 2 more power sockets into my walls just because it's more convenient that way, but that's boring, let's move on. So So now that most of the foundations of the room are in place, it's time for the fun part. So I was never allowed to have a rug. I tried making a pom-pom one in middle school, but I gave up on that very quickly. So now that I'm old enough to make my own decisions, I bought a rug. This is the IKEA Lindnid rug. I'm totally butchering that. Oh. I also had this brown pencil holder and extra gold spray paint, so I decided to make it match so that I'll still use it. I didn't want my room to look like it came straight out of an IKEA catalogue, so then I tried to buy handles and knobs for my dresser and bookcase. I spray painted them gold so that they'd match and it would be like customized, and then I just never really got around to using it. I don't know, I couldn't be bothered. So you guys might or might not know this about me, but I've spent almost half my life in Hong Kong and the other half here in Australia on the Gold Coast. And I kind of wanted something in my room that like represented that. So I found this website called Snazzy Maps. This is not sponsored, I wish. But I kind of played around with the customization on there and I made like a map that I really liked and I thought it was really cute to put up. So then I got them printed at Kmart and I bought 2 frames from IKEA and I hung them up above my desk. But before I hung them up, I also wanted to hang up these IKEA string lights with it. I've wanted these string lights for like a really long time, but I never got them because I never like knew where to put it. I also didn't want to ruin my new wallpaper that I just put up, so my solution to not having a hole in my wallpaper was to cut out a little U in it and flip it up and stick one of these little sticky hooks on it, so that if I ever wanted to move the location of it, I can just remove the hook and then just flap the little thing back down and it's like it never happened. So then the next thing that was kind of an eyesore for me was this lamp. I've had it since my Hong Kong days from when I was really young, and it's just really old, it's not really my vibe, and it overheats a lot, like I'm always scared that it's gonna catch on fire. So it's time for it to go. I got the new one from, oh who could have guessed, IKEA. It's gold, it's kind of antique but also modern looking, and it's kind of like a centerpiece for my desk, which I really like. The last decor thing that I filmed from last year was this white and gold clock from Target. I feel like a lot of people don't have clocks in their room anymore, but I have really bad time management skills, so I'd like to think that this has helped me a little bit. Now, you might be thinking, wait, Christy, didn't you like take down your bed? Where have you been sleeping? Well, here's the thing. I genuinely thought that I would just have my mattress on the floor and it'd be like a vibe. I did get new sheets and covers so that like the color scheme would match a lot more. But it wasn't until one day when I was just in bed, or I mean on my mattress, and I was like, I want a bed. So then I got one from, you guessed it, IKEA. Damn, this video really should be sponsored. I went climbing with my friends yesterday and my arms are dead. Knock knock, who's there? Not me. This is possibly the worst day for me to do this, but here we are, let's go. Let's build this bed. Wow, who knew I was so funny last year? So here I am building my, what, 4th, 5th IKEA furniture for this room, if you include the 2 chairs. And it was kind of also really tedious sliding all the wooden planks into the slots.
That's what she said.
And now, alas, we have a bed. And voila, here we are. At the end, this is how this room came together. If you look closely, there's a lot of things actually in here that I didn't show in the video because it was kind of stuff that I added in after. It just kind of kept evolving. But there's like my chair that I never showed. There's like some mirrors and a vinyl over there. There's a Polaroid wall. I've got an aircon now. I've got a dog now, like a whole ass fucking dog. So like I've got 2 dog beds just like chilling here, one under the chair and one under the desk. He loves like being under stuff. It's so cute. So here's the after. Let's cue the montage. This video, finally. It's been like a 1.5 years in the making. Hope you guys enjoyed and I'll see you guys all next time.